Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Vaughn with the 3XB podcast. Now, today we're going to be discussing Kierra Henderson, the trucking guru. Now, before I get into this video, right, I want to give a shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. I want to shout out Pocket Watching with JT. And look, he did a live Friday night, and Kierra Henderson, I give a shout out to her. She came on the live, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all a small clip from this video from the Pocket Watching with JT Live. If you want to see the whole video, I'll put the link to it in the description. But I want y'all to check this out, and once y'all once the video ends, I'll come back and we're gonna discuss some things that I wanted to bring up from the trucking aspect.
If that's rain or shine, I met with her and her dude at the fucking truck yard.
Got it. All right. And here's one of my last questions here. Is there any particular reason why these different LLCs that you ran and you operated were actually administratively dissolved and are no longer able to operate in the states where they were set up in? Is there any particular reason why that's the case?
Run down the list of them and I'll let you know for each one.
Well, I mean, they're your businesses. Any of your LLCs. Why would any of your LLCs now be administratively dissolved?
So for Kierra Henderson's businesses, I don't even use an LLC.
Okay.
So I need to know which ones you're talking in reference to. Because when Kierra Henderson does shit, she will fuck up. The only LLC that's dissolved is the Trucking Guru. Being honest with you, that's the only one for Kierra Henderson. What's crazy is that dude that posted all them LLCs and the authorities, Kierra Henderson, name wasn't on shit.
But the Trucking Guru, you're not associated with the Trucking Guru?
No. I said that one.
Okay, so let's answer that one. Why is the Trucking Guru, why is that one administratively dissolved?
Because I didn't pay the state tax thing on it. Because Kierra don't have no business doing that. She should have gave it to her team.
Is the Trucking Guru no longer in business?
The Trucking Guru isn't.
I'm sorry, say it again?
It is. It is. You know what?
Why is the LLC?
Because it's under a different name and it's hidden from y'all, so y'all can stop looking me up.
Okay.
All right, so now what I did was, now all of my resources and receipts are going to be in the description of this video. But it's not going to be one of those, I'm just making these things up and none of this is all just fabricated. It's not. I'm going to have the link, so I'm always going to provide receipts for anything that I do. So with that being said, I'm going to take y'all over here to this website. So this site here is called flatloads.com. So it's basically a load board type of site. So now in the trucking industry, for those of y'all that are not in the trucking, when motor carriers go out here or even on the operators, they lease on to a company operating under someone's authority, they can go out and they can find loads on these platforms called load boards, right? Load boards are basically a platform that the truckers can post that they have available trucks in whatever area. And simultaneously, freight brokers can also post that they have available loads in whatever area. And that's how a lot of the commerce is moved through the spot market. So with that being said, so in my research, I came across this load board, Flat Loads, right? And it's very interesting, to say the least, because, one of the reasons why I say it's very interesting is that I'm actually in the forum section, right? So most of these truck boards, they're going to have a forum where, basically, you can talk about whatever in this forum or you can post whatever in this forum, right? But in order for you to post, right, I'm going to show y'all right here, you got load board, and right here you have truck board. So load board is going to be the section for freight brokers who have MC authorities and are authorized to broker loads in the states. Then you're going to have the truck board. The truck board is going to be the motor carrier that's authorized to haul loads from state to state, right? Or interstate commerce, right? So when you post on a form, it's because if you posting loads on a form, which Kierra Henderson did, I found this one post right here dated July the 14th, 2017, right? This is back when she was making $100 million. So, or she was a millionaire at this time, multi-millionaire, because I think it was 2019 is when she said she actually made $100 million. I think it was 2019. So one thing is just something I want to point out before we get into the video. So this right here is a post where she has all of these available loads, right? And her contact info. So this is a different company right here. This is none of the companies that we're going to discuss on the pending lawsuit. This is a whole different, this is another company called AMC2 Logistics, right? I don't know if she owns it, but she's posting these loads on their behalf. Now, she also has an email address here, amc2logistics.com. I try to pull up the domain, nothing comes up. But like I said, it's 2017, so more than likely, based on the video that started this video, she probably changed companies again from this point, right? Now, one thing that I want to point out is this, and it's funny because they go in on her. If you go to this form and you go to the top and you put in search, and you search the form for Kierra Henderson, a lot of stuff come up. And these are things that she's posting, right? When she's posting these loads that she has available. And she's a dispatcher, she's not a broker, right? But the funny thing is when you scroll down, the thread on some of these posts are like, man, they're hilarious because they've been calling her out since 2017. So she got tough skin, right? Her skin is real tough. I know y'all seen her putting lotion on and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But she got tough skin because she hold her own in these forums. But they are always calling her out. This one I thought was really funny because it said, once again, she's on here posting loads. AMC2 Logistics has no authority according to FMCSA website, no broker authority, nothing, right? And as you go down, is another comment. Whatever you are doing is illegal without having an MC broker number, bond, and insurance. Plus, Texas requires interstate authority to haul within the state of Texas. So, and for those of you that don't know, interstate just means that you're only hauling within your state, right? So within your home state, within the state that your company is based in, you're not crossing state lines. Interstate is basically when you're going from state to state. So if I'm taking a load from Texas to California, then that's considered interstate commerce, and you would definitely need an MC authority for that. And if, like in North Carolina, if I'm just delivering, if I'm only in North Carolina, I'm not crossing state lines, then I wouldn't need an MC authority. I will only need a DOT number. So that's just something that I wanted to share with y'all before we get into this video. Now, one thing I will say, you do have a lot of things that you want to be mindful of, like red flags when you always having an MC number or a different MC number, a different trucking company, every year or whatever the case may be, right? So in the trucking game, your MC number that's your bread and butter, right? So you want to always at all times protect your MC number. So that means you want to ensure that you constantly have your equipment up to date. You want to make sure that you're consistently doing your maintenance. And you're doing your paperwork. A lot of things can put you out of service as a trucking company, and too many out of services, they would basically they can shut you down. Now there are different reasons why the DOT or the Federal Motor Carrier Authority can come in and take back your ability to actually haul loads, which is like imminent hazard or things like that. You know, imminent hazard basically means you're not taking care of your equipment, or your drivers are always drunk every time they do a level 1 or level 2 inspection. You know, so it could be a plethora of things that can get you to where you're unable to operate legally, you know, within the state or within the country. A lot of times when companies get put out, you know, if their authority gets taken away from them, they'll try to create another company and operate under a different MC number, which is also illegal. You know, once they put you out, you can't do it no matter what company name that you come up with. And also, when you first start your company and you first get your MC authority, that's going to be that's the time where it's going to be harder for you as a carrier because you have a new authority. So the older your authority get, and also if you have a clean authority, you know, with no infractions or violations, you know, the more value that it gives to your company. So you can literally, like, you know, if you're just sitting around with an MC number, you know, if you got a couple of years of being an active authority, you can literally sell that for a couple $1,000s, maybe 10,000 or more. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to you. That is a red flag. You want to hold on to your MC number. You want to hold on to your business. Even in business, it's this thing to where, you know, your time in business matters, right? So you just can't go and utilize your business credit to where it's beneficial to you. You know, starting off, you're not going to get the best deals when you're a newly open company versus if you're an experienced company that's been around, and you also have documentations to prove that you're literally in business and that you're making money. So with that being said, now we're going to get into the lawsuit, because if you go to the Pocket Watch with JT Live video, I don't know what she was talking about in regards to what the claims were against her. She kind of acted as though she didn't know, you know, what was in the lawsuit. Only thing she was mentioning was something about online, or, you know, or she seen somebody post something, or she tried to run off with an explanation. So what I'm going to do is we're going to read through the complete complaint against her and what they are alleging that she has done. Now, I will say a disclaimer here, right? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CFP or none of that. I'm just an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, that have several businesses, right? And trucking is my passion is trucking, you know. So in this video, I'm only going to, all of the things that Kierra Henderson have been alleged against her, or things that they said that she did, that's just what they are alleging based on their based on their paperwork and what they can actually prove, right? It hasn't been found. Kierra Henderson hasn't been found guilty in the court of law or anything like that. So she has to answer to these claims. And so we're going to get into it. We're going to read the complaint. We're going to read what they said that she did, what they said that Capital Choice Trucking, which is, you know, a lot of people are focused on Kierra Henderson, but in this lawsuit, Capital Choice Trucking, which is based in North Carolina, and matter of fact, I'm going to show you where their residence, where the agent of this company is located, is right here. You see this house? It's a burnt down house, right? Or it's a burnt down business. It used to be a funeral home that was owned. I would assume it would be Frank family. I'm not sure, but they got the same last name. But it was recently involved in a fire, and it burnt down. But it is a historic piece of property in the state of North Carolina. His family is well known in this area. I don't know if it was grandfather, great grandfather. So, you know, I do give kudos to the Lightner family. Now, what Frank did, or what Frank is being accused of, or what they're alleging that he, I guess you want to say, conspired with Kierra Henderson on, I don't, I'm just going to read what's on the complaint. That's it. I'm gonna read what's on the complaint, and I'm gonna give a little business tips or advice or things that you need to know so you don't fall victim to this. I'm not telling y'all to go buy Kierra Henderson's course. I'm not telling y'all not to go buy Kierra Henderson's course. All I'm saying is this is your due diligence, or this is part of the due diligence process. And if you're going to go out here, you're going to spend your money, you better know where your money going to, and you don't want your money to get tied up and to, somebody that's going through civil litigation. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something like, I'm not going to invest with someone that's going through civil litigation because the investment is part of the civil litigation. You know what I'm saying? And nah, man, I'll sit out right now to see how this stuff boiled over. Now, if anything comes about, I will do updates on this as well. So if it comes out and she goes to trial and it's found that and Kierra Henderson is found not guilty of any of the claims or whatever the case may be, I will do a video on that. You know, I'm gonna be biased over here. I don't have a dog in the fight. You know, I'm just gonna, I'm just here to show y'all things that you need to look out for when you are here and you trying to conduct business. This channel is basically, we're gonna talk about business news and business tips, as well as exposing the grift that we have in our communities. So especially in the trucking industry or anything related to trucking, expose a lot of the misinformation that's being put out there. So this episode we're going to discuss, and the question is Kierra Henderson the trucking guru or the trucking grifter, right? So we're going to go ahead and break this down, right? So y'all saw that. Now, before y'all ask, okay, what gives me the authority to be able to speak on this matter, or how do I have knowledge on, this industry, right? So I'm an entrepreneur. In 2007, I started my video production company. I had placements that aired nationwide on network television. I also executive produce documentaries and films that sold nationwide in retail stores. 2016, 2004. So prior to that, 2004, I got my CDLs and I was driving trucks. I used that money from my trucking company to start I used the money from driving trucks to actually start my video production company. And I taught myself how to film, edit, all of those things. This is before YouTube was really what it is right now, and there was no TikTok and nothing back then, right? So fast forward to 2016, I started a trucking company. I actually got my motor carrier authority first quarter of 2017. In 2019, I actually converted from being I'm still a motor carrier, but I went more so the route as a direct shipper. So I started a pallet business in 2019, and I have a warehouse, 40,000 square foot warehouse that I operate that out of. So that enough about me. Let's dive into Kierra Henderson. Okay, so what we're going to talk about, we're going to start with the lawsuit that is currently pending. Now, I know y'all saw that Kierra was on her Instagram page, and she was promoting that the lawsuit that that Spencer Cornelia showed the guy lost, right? And I'm gonna tell you, it's funny when you talk about these lawsuits, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Right now, we're going to start with the current lawsuit that's currently in court, right? So as you can see right here, is the plaintiff is Rain or Shine Trucking LLC, and the defendants are the Trucking Guru LLC, TTG Logistics LLC, Kierra Henderson, Frank Lightner, and Capital Choice Trucking LLC. They haven't been in court. This is just what the plaintiffs are alleging that the defendants did to them. Now, it could be not true. It could be true. You know what I'm saying? I really, I'm just going based on the court document that was filed. So, So what they are alleging, where it says that the Trucking Guru LLC, TTG Logistics, all the defendants collectively committed fraud and fraudulent inducement, negligent misrepresentation, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and tortious interference with a contract. And now it goes into how the defendants can be served. But what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the factual background. Now, this is what the plaintiffs are declaring as fact, right? So it's saying the trucking guru, Ms. Henderson and Mr. Lightner, purport to be in the business of helping ordinary felons, minorities, and women earn extraordinary income in the trucking industry, offering a proven 7-figure blueprint to trucking success. The trucking guru, Miss Henderson, and Mr. Lightner prey on young entrepreneurs' eagerness to tap into the $700 billion in transportation industry. Now, they even got her actual graphic in the lawsuit. That is crazy. So one such get-rich-quick scheme is the Trucking Guru University, which is a turnkey program which promises weekly profits between $1,500 and $2,450 through dedicated lanes, dispatching services, and ongoing fleet management support to assist owner-operators with a consistent workload by leveraging our partnerships. Man. So before I go any further, let me break this down, right? Now, Spencer Cornelius, or Cornelia, I think, my bad, Spencer, if I mispronounced your name, right? So Spencer broke down the fact that she doesn't have operating authority. So I'm going to go to this right here. This is the Federal Motor Carriers website. So this is one red flag that went off with me when I was actually when I was sent this information by one of my students, because I also teach a course, but I don't teach a trucking course. I teach a course on the pallet business, which is another channel. But so in looking at the videos, one thing that was troubling was the fact that she never mentioned a trucking business, right? You know, as being a motor carrier, you have to actually go through federal requirements. You have to register with the government, right? All of that stuff is public record. So if somebody is saying that they actually are a motor carrier and, you know, they own 140 trucks, it's easy to research that. All you got to do is go to this website right here and it'll pull up their legal name, and it will also pull up how many units that they actually own. So under this one, TTG Logistics only had 3 power units. Now, one thing that I'm gonna point out, right? Because I'm not here. Look, this is not a video about bullying. You know what I'm saying? I'm about business. You know what I'm saying? That's business, bourbon, and bosses. That's what this channel and this platform is going to be about, right? So not only am I going to expose the grift, I'm also going to, you will also be educated on the business practices and things that you yourself can avoid, or red flags that you definitely need to pay attention to. So one of the things here is that she doesn't have operating status. She's not authorized to operate, right? But one important thing I want you to watch and I want you to look for is the entity type, right? So when you're registering with the federal motor carriers, right, you can only register I ain't gonna say you can only register, but if you're registering with the federal motor carriers, you're gonna either be a motor carrier, a freight broker, or like a 3PL, right? You know, because you're basically scheduling the movement of freight. And we're a capitalist society. We're based on businesses, so they got to know where this freight is at all times, who's moving it, who's responsible for it. If anything happened with that actual freight, who is going to be held financially liable for whatever mishap that may have occurred, right? So that's why it's important that, if you're going to do this, you need to do your business the correct way. The next factual statement that they made is relying upon the representations made by the trucking guru Kierra Henderson and Frank Lightner in April 2022. Rain applied for admission to the turnkey program. Throughout April and May 2022, TTG Logistics, through its agent, Frank Lightner, agreed to help Rain obtain the fleet necessary to start a profitable trucking business. So Frank was the one who agreed to help her start the trucking business. And it's funny when they saying profitable. And no business, when you first start in the business, you're not profitable. Nobody is profitable when you very first start in the business because you have expenses. And until you can recoup those expenses, you're not profitable. That's a red flag right there. Like I said, the first red flag, honestly, was the fact that the claims of making $100 million in trucking, owning 140 trucks, but when you look them up on the Federal Motor Carriers Authority, the Federal Motor Carriers website, you only see that they had 3 power units and they've been out of service, right? So that's the number one red flag. The number 2 red flag, if you made $100 million in trucking, you are not going to be like, hey man, I'm going to teach you how to start a trucking business and how to dispatch trucks, right? And the reason why I say that is because if you're a trucking company, the only thing that these dispatching courses target, they don't target the experienced trucker because they know if you're a motor carrier, you've been out here for multiple years, you're not dealing with a dispatcher because you're doing it all on your own. Or you have somebody in-house that's doing your dispatching for you. So it would be cost effective more so to hire a W-2 employee, pay them by the hour, and have them dispatch your trucks versus paying a third-party provider anywhere from 8 to 15% every time you take out a load on that truck. Like that, it just don't make business sense to do that. So that's within itself is another red flag, right? So now the other factual statement that they said that this is what they alleging is after learning Rain reserved up to $30,000 as a down payment for a truck, Mr. Lightner offered Rain a truck for $35,000 with high mileage, but with the promise Rain will make that money back before mid-July. It's ready to run, perfect for the oil field. Matter of fact, it's going to make the same exact money that the 2016 would make. Now, the problem, here's another red flag, right? There's something that you need to watch out for, and it's something that, when you're doing business, you don't expose yourself to just anyone, right? And so to tell somebody that you got $30,000 for a down payment for a truck, it's not the route that I would have went. You know what I'm saying? If somebody would have said like, hey, I can get you a truck, well, show me what you got and let me see the prices. I'm not going to give that information to somebody that I know that's trying to sell me something, right? So, and I'm not victim blaming right here, but if Rain and Shine Trucking is watching this, this is something that next time if you're still in the trucking industry, and you decide to get a truck, don't do that. And for those of you that's going to buy a truck, don't tell nobody how much of a down payment that you have. You let them know. You ask them what do they have and what they're selling it for. But in my course, I actually teach students to avoid paying retail pricing on trucks or commercial equipment. The reason why I say that is because a lot of, you have avenues to where the general public can actually go and buy commercial vehicles, and you would save a ton of money by doing that. And that way it gives you the ability to learn the business because you're not out here with a truck payment and then you have to, now you're behind the 8 ball. You have it to where your truck is bought and paid for. You can kind of slowly work your way in the industry and you won't lose the shirt off your back so easily. You know what I'm saying? And you won't be such in debt. That's really a bad way to kind of start your trucking company or start any business out being in debt. So in the States here, on May the 20th, 2022, Mr. Lightner instructed Rain to wire the funds to his company. So yeah, I wouldn't do that, right? So so when she wired the funds to him, she said that to obtain her ready for action truck, which is a 2012 Freightliner Cascadia with 825,000 miles, for guess what? $45,999. Noting the price, Miss Brown indicated she have to live in that truck, to which Mr. Lightner reassured her, first week it run, it'll pay your rent. That's crazy. Like, so you tell somebody you got $30,000, right, to buy a truck. Now they're reselling you the truck that you paid $30,000 for, and they're telling, we're not reselling it back to you, but now they're telling you, oh, the price is $45,999, right? And I'm gonna break down probably why that, like how they did that or why they did that. So relying on these and other promises, Rain entered into a sub-hauler agreement with the Trucking Guru. And I said, man, look, man, I didn't want to bring y'all this information like this, man, because I'm reading this right along with y'all, right? I didn't want to bring this information out here like this because I know a lot of y'all are her fans and y'all cheerlead for her to win all day. Hell, when I first seen the video, I'm like, damn, she made $100 million. I was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, salute to you. You know what I'm talking about? But when I'm reading this complaint here, I'm like, something ain't adding up. When I look at the complaint and I look at the Federal Motor Carriers Authority website and I look at their presentation, something's not adding up. Now, I'm not gonna say she hasn't made $100 million. If you cut corners in here, if you don't do if you're not doing business the right way, you probably could make $100 million, right? And, it's going to involve a whole lot of criminal activity, right? It's going to be things like cargo theft, right? It'll be things like double brokering loads, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to broker loads, right? And I'm not a fan of broker. This is not a pro broker channel, and this is definitely not a pro dispatcher channel. If I'm going to tell you anything as being the boss of your own business, right? What you need to do is figure out as the owner of your company how to acquire customers, what that's going to take, how to do marketing. Like, you cannot start a business and ignore these parameters that are put in place in order for you to succeed. That's why so many of y'all in the spot market. Like, some things that Kierra Henderson has said in her videos, I totally agree with it, right? You can get a truck with high mileage. Those are the best trucks to get because they already been through their breakdowns and all of that shit. That shit, I've been saying it, right? But I agree with her on that. I agree with her when she said that you shouldn't be in the spot market pulling broker freight. I definitely agree with her on that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not disagreeing 100% with everything that she said, because some things are valid. Now, how do you know this information if you don't have a CDL? I know it, like a lot of the trucking information, I know it because I got 19 years in trucking. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of stuff because I drove trucks. I got my CDLs. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the industry. I understand the business. And I understand that I'm experienced with actually driving a truck. So, somebody who didn't drive the truck, it's hard for you to get the information. It's basically hearsay at that point. Somebody told you that. You know what I'm talking about? It's not something that you experience on your own. So from April 2022 to present, defendants have provided dozens of excuses for their failure to adhere to the promises made to Rain, and all while profiting directly off of Rain's investment in defendants and their promises. While Rain was purchasing millions of dollars of insurance on the truck, procuring his motor carrier authority. Okay, now it says here that they charged Rain $5,000 to join this turnkey program that never started. They charged Rain another $45,999 for the turnkey truck, Mr. Lightner and Capital Choice purchased for $19,000. They failed to deliver Rain as turnkey truck while using and admitting to using the trucks for defendants' own transportation services. That by itself is crazy. But like I said, all of these things are alleged now. Neither TTG Logistics nor Capital Choice Trucking are authorized to operate as an interstate for-hire carrier by the Department of Transportation. In fact, defendant Kierra Henderson had garnered significant internet fame for reportedly making over $100 million in the trucking industry without even owning a driver's license. These are all red flags, people. These are things that when you see those videos, I don't care what platform they're regurgitating this information on, you got to do your due diligence. Okay, although defendants promised Rain it would be operational and profitable by July 22, July passed without work. Finally, on August 22, Ms. Lightner admitted that he and Ms. Henderson, the Trucking Guru, and TTG Logistics were overtrucked to the point, I don't know what overtruck means, to the point that if Rain were operating as promised, everybody going to take weekly losses for a couple of weeks, and that there were 25 other people in Rain's same shoes relying on a profitable lane that TTG Logistics could not deliver and knew it could not deliver at the time of contracting. Defendants promised work would be available in August, then September, then October, then November. However, growing tired of the defendants' fraudulent misrepresentations in October 2022, Rain contracted with UST Logistics to get the truck operational and profitable. When defendants found out Rain would no longer subsidize their business with Rain, that they would no longer subsidize their business with Rain's trucks, defendants threatened UST Logistics, causing them to end their agreement with Rain, which further interfered with Rain's profits. Now, here's another problem. So these people, the plaintiffs, was trying to get their money out the truck. They saying, hey, man, based on their alleging, right, that they telling Kierra Henderson and all the defendants in this case, they're basically saying, look, man, we got to get this truck on the road. We spent a lot of money. We got to get the ball moving. What's going on? Now, based on what they are alleging, while they're asking for their truck, Kierra Henderson is using the truck. Why, if you own 140 trucks, would you be utilizing one of your students' trucks that you didn't pay for? Overcharge them. They pay y'all pay 19, and I get it, right? You know how to get trucks. We all know how to get trucks. Well, I ain't gonna say we all. If you're new to the game, you really don't know, right? But you can go to a truck auction and it's open to the public, and you can literally buy these same trucks that they're selling you for twice or 3 times as much that you're giving them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just crazy. But it says here, December 5th, 2022, despite the fact that it was not authorized by the DOT to operate as a for-hire carrier, Capital Choice executed a truck and lease agreement with Capital Choice Trucking, promising to obtain loads on behalf of Rain as long as Rain would be responsible for paying all third parties that may provide services associated with the truck. Of course, Capital Choice Trucking reserved the right to partner with the third-party companies of its choosing to provide miscellaneous, unspecified. Man, come on, man. God almighty. Man, this is crazy. So they basically telling y'all, right? You as the business owner, you as the person that invested your money not only in their course, not in their turnkey program, but you also gave them money for a truck. You thought these people was going to help you, and they're telling you you getting into agreements with them if they don't even have authority to operate. They can't even operate their trucks, your truck, under their authority. You know what I'm talking about? They can't do it, right? And then to tell you, right, now this company is not authorized to even provide that service by the federal government or through the federal government. But then on top of that, it's saying that third-party companies of its choosing. So they can pick and choose who they want to do the money with, and you have no say-so, but you're the boss. Yeah. You're the boss. You know what I'm talking about? So that right there is a red flag. Like I said, don't come in my comments section hating. I will block the shit out of you. We can have a reasonable discussion without name calling. I'm not name calling. I'm not calling nobody scammers, fake gurus. I'm not saying none of that. I'm pointing out the business, right? This is not business. And we're gonna tear this apart. So defendants made materially false representations to Rain as outlined in paragraphs 9 through 21. We're gonna keep on reading this. Prior to executing the bill of sale, some agreement. All right, now they're saying when we enter into these agreements with the defendants knew or had reason to know they were either unwilling or incapable of securing lanes for Rain's trucking business to operate profitably. Still, defendants intended for Rain to rely on these false representations so that it could continue using Rain's truck with permission and continue to receive money from Rain for opportunities that did not and do not exist. And they're saying that by concealing, omitting, or mistaking these facts, defendants fraudulently induced Rain into executing the agreements. So you can't say, hey, well, she signed an agreement with me. She ain't like how it went. She got an agreement with y'all thinking that y'all had your authority. Now, they, so if the person that you're doing business with thinks that you have your authority, now I understand it, right? They're going off your word, right? And look how that worked out. That's why I tell people all the time, do your due diligence. Don't rely on people flapping gums to make a decision when it comes to your money. Don't do that, right? So now what she's asking for performance agreements, because she remitted $5,000 for the turnkey program, $45,999 for the truck, and more than $5,600 in repairs to the truck for damages incurred by defendants. So not only did they take her money, allegedly, right? Allegedly, they took her money, bought a truck, never gave her the truck, never gave her the lanes, but then used her truck for their own businesses. This is what the plaintiff is alleging. Now, this hasn't went to trial yet, so don't sit back with your chest poked out, talking about, oh man, that shit ain't went to trial. I mean, we beat that case. No, it's still in court right now. They're saying that defendants made statements knowing they were false, reckless, or as positive assertions without knowledge of their truth. They made these representations in the court of their business and pursuant of transactions where they have a personal financial interest. Defendants supplied this false information to guide Rain in his own business. Defendants failed to exercise reliable care in gathering and disseminating the false information. Rain justifiably relied on defendants' false representations and performed under the agreements by remitting $5,000 for the turnkey program, $45,999 for the truck, and more than $5,600 in damages. Now they got her for a breach of contract. This is another reason why they're suing her. They said that 3 contracts existed between Rain and TTG Logistics and between Rain and Capital Choice Trucking for Rain to purchase a Freightliner truck that TTG Logistics and Capital Choice would make operational and profitable. However, they failed to timely or properly to deliver the truck to Rain, failed to provide business for Rain, and wholly failed to perform their obligations under the agreements. Failure to perform their obligations under agreements has directly and proximately caused injury to Rain, for which Rain seeks to recover his actual damages, court costs, and attorney fees. She going for all her money back, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. If you sat out here and you allegedly did these things to this trucking company, they deserve every penny. If I were her attorney, I would try to see if there's any way that you can file treble damages. I would be looking for treble. Man, if the allegations are true, this was malicious, man. This one business. This doesn't sound like somebody that made $100 million in trucking. That be on Instagram, you're in the back of a strip club somewhere, right? Not conducting yourself as a business person, and your actions and your videos, it pretty much go along with what I see in this article, right? In this complaint right here. It's that hood shit, man. You know, hood rich, man. It's not gonna get you nowhere. You know, I tell my people all the time, man, you got to do due diligence. You got to research these people that y'all see online that are making claims that haven't been verified. You got to do your due diligence on these people, right? And when I first seen, I was hoping for her to be legit. I was like, yeah, be legit. Shut these motherfuckers up, right? But then as I started listening more to her videos, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, Doc. You know, if you made $100 million in trucking, you would tell the truckers, you know, like, you don't need no third-party dispatcher. That's what you would be saying. You know what I'm saying? And then, too, you know, I looked at, like, you know a lot about the operations of a truck for somebody that doesn't have a CDL, which means the information that you have is it's not something that you learned while being out here. Is more so something that someone told you. So it all depends on who told you the information, what their background is. Some of them, you know, some of the information that you do quote, I do agree with. You can start your business off with a high mileage truck. You shouldn't be in the spot market. You shouldn't be dealing with brokers, period. Yeah, I do agree with that. But I also say don't deal with freight dispatchers, period. Right? Don't deal with them neither. No, man. You don't need no dispatcher trucks. For all y'all that's trying to get in the trucking, for all y'all that want to be that want to start your trucking company, you got or any business. It doesn't matter trucking. Learn the basics of your business, right? And as you grow your business, then you're able to train somebody to come in and do that job. If you're hiring someone and you don't know if they know how to do it because you don't know how to do whatever it is you're hiring them for, then you losing money. You might as well play the lotto ticket, man. Let's see what the number gonna be for Cash 5 or Powerball. You know what I'm saying? You know, so torturous interference when they block the UST logistics contract. You know. And they're actually demanding a trial by jury on all issues, so triable by right. So if they go, so the only way that Kierra Henderson will be able to escape this claim, right, this complaint in court, she'll either have to settle out of court, right, which means if she settles out of court, you know, you're not going to see a judgment enter, although in order for her to settle out of court, she got to pay money. But when you sue a business, I know because I've sued plenty of businesses, when you sue a business and you decide to settle out of court, they're going to cut you a check. Once they cut you that check, you're going to sign a piece of paperwork, right? You're going to sign this paperwork that says it's a voluntary dismissal. They're going to then take that back to the court, and they're going to show the court, hey, we settled out of court. It's a voluntary dismissal, and it's going to be dismissed, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you weren't liable for whatever you did in your business to get sued to begin with, right? It doesn't mean that, you know, you didn't do what they claim you did. It just means that you settled out of court. And part of the settlement is that they dropped the claim. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they take you to court, then if you go to trial, you're going to have to prove all that shit. Because the way they threw, and I'm not a lawyer, you know, I wish a YouTube lawyer would chime in, right? I'm not an attorney. I just know shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not giving anybody legal advice. I'm just analyzing the information that I got off of this lawsuit, and I'm just analyzing based on my knowledge what the options are, right? And so if you go to trial, the way they designed this lawsuit, and they use your social media your status on social media, which means they're going to then go pull all your videos. They're going to go pull all your videos off of Instagram, YouTube, wherever you got your videos at, all your marketing material. They're going to go through it, and guess what? Now you're going to be in court having to prove, okay, show us you made $100 million. Right? Now, I'm going to tell you, you know, the math ain't mathing to me. Now, I'm going to tell you why the math ain't mathing. If you own 140 trucks and you have 82 employees, right? First of all, if you own 140 trucks, show your drop yard. You don't have if you got 140 trucks and you made $100 million, you should be able to show your drop yard. Show your drop yard. And I know I ain't showing my drop yard. Hey, man, now we're going to get to these claims, right? When you on social media and you're making claims where you're selling a course, you're getting on platforms. Now, I told you to get on that platform with the blue couch per episode, per 1 hour clip is $5,000, right? So, and that's what they quoted me. I'm going to pull it up right here. This is my talks with them on TikTok. It's $5,000 to sit on that blue couch, and I got to come to Dallas, Texas to film it, right? So, and there's nothing wrong. They can charge $5,000 for somebody appearing on their platform. Now, where the problem comes in at is that when they charge $5,000 and they air that clip, they have to put in there by law, this is a paid promotion, because you're promoting Kierra Henderson and the Trucking Guru, right? You're receiving $5,000 in place of that, which is monetary value. So based on the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, you have to disclose that to your following. See, it's a lot of, no one is doing business the way business should be done. And with the platforms that y'all have out here and the following that y'all have, if y'all ran it legitimately, you know what I'm saying? If you ran it based, you want to do straight up business. If you're able to do straight up business, then y'all wouldn't have a issue. But if this get brought into court, then they're going to ultimately, I'm going to tell you now, they're going to bring the videos in court. They're going to come down there to the real life productions and they're going to pull your hard drives. They're going to go through them and they're going to say, hey, man, we need to get this interview. Do you have the receipts for when they paid? How did you get them on the show? Like, they're going to ask you these questions. The same thing with Caesar Pina and The Breakfast Club with DJ Envy. All of that stuff like when y'all dabbling in this video and these platforms and promoting these courses, and the more people being scammed, millions upon millions and millions of dollars that's been leached out of our communities into God knows where, right? Under the guise of we're trying to give y'all financial literacy, we're trying to help y'all, and all along the way, you're scamming, right? All along the way, there's dozens of lawsuits saying y'all taking people's money, right? At some point in time, man, hey, man, we're going to pull the brakes on that. We're going to hold you accountable. And the reason that we're holding y'all accountable, or the reason why I'm going to hold you accountable, is because we would be in a different place financially right now as a community of people if the money that we invested thinking that we was going to get the show enough game plan to be off of the plantations of the jobs that a lot of them are working on, those 9 to 5s, right? That the information they're going to get is going to really help them. And to turn around and to see their hard money be parted from their pockets by some slick talking, I got a saying, right, where real recognize real, the blind recognize bling, right? So I knew once I started here, this influencer talk, that it was all cap. I'm not saying she won't in the trucking industry or she won't double brokering lows. She was in a real gray area on a very thin line. And if they pull any of those things that I showed y'all in here as far as with the flatload.com website, if you go to that form, you put in, Kierra Henderson, you'll see a post. When you start pulling these records and you start looking up these addresses and you start to see that, okay, this house is here, but this house don't look like nobody lived in it, but this is where, if y'all would have went to the North Carolina Secretary of State and pulled the records for Capital Choice Trucking LLC, and you looked at the principal office street address, right, which is the same as the mailing address, right? If you would have pulled that up, you would have saw an abandoned building. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you. You saw a building that was burnt up. Yeah. And I don't know how this got past the state of North Carolina. I don't know how the Secretary of State slipped past this. Like, if you go and you check that address, you're going to see an abandoned house. If you drive past that address, you're going to see a burnt up building. But yet, and it's been like that for years. It's nothing new. Since I went all the way back to 2007, that building been there like that, which was a funeral home that was probably owned by Frank family. But, like I said, my question is, when y'all was on Real Life Productions and y'all start talking about that stolen load.
I'm curious, has a load ever came up missing mysteriously?
We just had a load come up missing.
Or, yeah.
Around November. It was we had an event. The event they were talking about the boot camp. And if you look on my page, you'll see this white guy just gigging on the dance floor, enjoying, having the best time of his motherfucking life. Yeah. That was my driver. What's crazy is I told Frank, we were in a meeting like a couple of days before. He said, well, when Tyler comes up here, he wants to go to the event, he could just drop the trailer. No, the fuck he can't. Not no cliff, he can't. I said, nigga, he can't drop that fucking trailer no cliff. They'll steal that bitch.
To the hell yeah. He dropped the no cliff?
And Monday, that bitch was gone.
Yeah, Frank should have been fired. Any other company would have fired that son of a bitch. Any other CEO would have, man, if it was me, if it was my company, yeah, he would have been gone. I would have fired the shit out of him. Soon as he would have called, if I told him, tell that driver, Tyler, don't park that truck in Oak Cliff, and he parked that truck in Oak Cliff, and when he went and got that truck Monday morning, that truck was gone, I would have fired the shit out of Frank. I would have called the police on him. Yeah, I would have called him, man, that shit sketchy as hell, bro. I told you not to park it over here, you did it anyway. I think that is where y'all need to focus at. Focus on the business, because somebody ain't, like I said, all of this stuff is alleged. And, cargo theft is on the rise.
It was a year-long investigation by the California Highway Patrol that ended with more than 40 people in custody. CB8's Jenny Day is live now from CHP headquarters in Kearney Mesa with a closer look at what's believed to be an organized retail theft ring. Jenny?
Yeah, we are talking entire truckloads of your purchases. So if your Amazon order never arrived, or maybe you blame the post office, it may have actually been part of a sophisticated criminal operation. Code name Operation Overloaded.
We got the head of the snake.
A year-long investigation by the California Highway Patrol recovered $50 million worth of stolen merchandise, $5 million yesterday alone.
There's really no rhyme or reason to who they're targeting. It's just if there's an opportunity, they were taking it.
Entire semis full of your orders hijacked across the state of California. Major retailers also among the victims. The 40-plus suspects, now facing felony charges, are believed to be responsible for stealing 5 to 7 cargo loads each and every week. That's valued at more than $150 million.
You know what I'm saying? Cargo theft is on the rise. Double brokering is a form of cargo theft. You can go to prison. So we're going to do a recap. When we pulled up TTG Logistics, it was only 3 trucks listed. They don't have authority. They don't have the ability to operate a business in their state, which is Texas. They can't prove ownership of 140 trucks. Right? You can easily prove that. You got 80-some employees, pull the payroll. Man, I'd be slapping this shit out in front of the camera if it was me. Y'all slap everything else. You slap the Maybach. You slap the I'm at my house, look at the pool in the back. And this is not hating. I'm just saying, the same way you can have energy for fake people is the same, or for the people that you call haters, is the same energy that you can use their energy to prove them wrong. Just show it. Where you 140 trucks? Show that, man, because the federal motor carrier said, no, that ain't right. Somebody lying. You know what I'm saying? So we proved those things, right? So it's not, we're not hating when we call these things out. So to wrap everything up, only thing I'm telling y'all is this right here. When you're going out here and you're getting involved with these online courses, do your due diligence. Do not get caught out here giving your money. It's all this stuff that needs to be done when you're starting a trucking company, you can literally do it yourself. It's just, something that I want to bring to y'all. Like I said, man, shout out the Pocket Watching with JT. Y'all make sure he just reached 100,000 subscribers. Y'all make sure y'all go check him out. And I thank y'all for tuning in. This is 3XB Podcast. If you got any value out of this, make sure you like, comment, and share, and subscribe. And to the next video, I'm going to holler back at you. Peace.